front page headline about an Afghan refugee who came here in 2022, sought asylum, was granted it, and then 2 years later went back to his Taliban-controlled homeland to basically go on holiday for 8 weeks. He's now under investigation because, of course, he came back to Britain after having spent an 8-week holiday there, taking pictures, having a great time, and everybody's going, hang on a minute, I thought you said you couldn't go back there because you were in fear of your life. What is going on? Let's talk to Claire Pearsall, former special advisor on to the Minister for Immigration. Claire, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Amazing stories this week, haven't there been? I mean, yesterday we were dealing with the taxi story, where it seems as though billions and billions of pounds is being spent around the country, ferrying migrants from one end of it to another to see doctors, to see dentists, to see Home Office officials and all the rest of it. We've now learned that foreign criminals have been paid up to £2,000 to agree to be deported. We'll play you a little bit of a clip from Shabana Mahmood. We've got the first migrants coming here officially from France, a family of 3 apparently. The first one's on the one in, one out deal. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. Let's have a look at what Shabana Mahmood says about this idea of paying Romanian criminals to go home.
Well, look, I think out of context, obviously, it's not great. It doesn't look good. But the reality is that a voluntary removal is actually cheaper for the British taxpayer. So it has long been the case, certainly since 2006, that we do offer financial packages as an incentive to people to drop their claims, to drop the attempts that they will make to try and stay within our country and to board a flight and to leave.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it, that we're paying criminals to go home, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. When you're looking at all the pressures faced by people in the United Kingdom at the moment with the cost of living, to hear that a criminal has been given a free flight, an in-flight meal, and £2,000 to journey home, I think most people are going to say, well, hold up a second, what's in this for us? Yes, it might well be cheaper than looking at somebody's asylum claim, but surely if they're a criminal, we want them out of our country. We don't need to pay them for that process. They get to wherever they're going, and of course they are free to live their lives with impunity. They're not detained upon arrival. They're free to go about and live their lives. So where is the justice? Where is the value for money for the taxpayer? And £2,000, let's just put this into context. A UK prisoner on release gets 76 quid and a travel permit.
Yeah, right.
And these are our own people.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. And when you look around at the way that the asylum system is working at the moment, and there's this story on the front page of The Sun today, Afghan refugee goes on holiday to Afghanistan. You know, what sort of, strictly kind of, regulations are being followed here? None, obviously.
Well, clearly not in this instance. Now, I would fully support anybody that served along our armed forces in Afghanistan and were fleeing for their lives and being persecuted by the Taliban. I would welcome them to this country. But this appears to be the Afghan version of Judith Chalmers, because not only has he gone via Dubai back to Kabul, he's also visited Switzerland, Bulgaria, Paris. He's travelled around the UK. So he's clearly not short of cash.
Right.
His life obviously isn't in danger. So why are we funding him, and why have we decided that he has a legitimate claim?
And we seem to have absolutely no kind of filter purposes, do we? We saw that story a couple of weeks ago of the Egyptian guy who came in 2023, I think it was, on a small boat, claiming that he was running from his life from Egypt. He couldn't be sent back to Egypt. Turned out he was actually an ISIS member and a terrorist, and he'd been convicted in Egypt of being a part of a bomb-making sort of factory, and that's why he had to leave the country. And so, I mean, at what point does anyone in the Home Office actually ask proper, rigorous questions that then get sort of investigated?
Well, they should be asking those right from the start. When you're looking at asylum claims, you should be talking to the security services. You know, they're only one office down in the Home Office. You could ask them for any intelligence on an individual. You should be able to ask other countries as well. I know that's a little bit more difficult after Brexit, but it's not impossible to do so. But it does make you wonder why people aren't searching through social media records, for example.
Yeah.
It's very clear that they're posting on those. They have a phone, they have access to the internet. So it shouldn't be that difficult. And why, when we find out these pieces of information, why is it only then that we look at should this person be in the country? We should be doing that right from the start before even granting leave to remain.
Yeah. And talking of this new sort of one in, one out scheme, I hate calling it that because I know that's not really what it is, but we've now got the first arrivals from France, we're told, that came in, we don't know exactly when, but sometime in the last few days. We're told it's a family of 3. Again, the Home Office don't say where they're from, they don't say what criteria was used to sort of select them, they don't say, you know, where they're going to go, are they going to be put up in a hotel, are they going to go live with a family? You know, they don't seem to be very keen on giving out any information about these individuals.
Well, no, they don't. And I do think people have a right to know what is going on in our country. If this is something that's been dreamt up by the Labour government, I think they need to fess up some details as to the validity of somebody's claim, because it appears that it's the French who get to decide who comes over to the UK in this grand people swapping exercise, but we don't know about them. We don't know where they're from. We don't know how they're going to integrate. So I think there are some severe questions to be asked. And of course, this scheme was always doomed to failure. So we've lost a net result of 1 person so far. Yeah. Well, that's, you know, in context, we had 1,000 people pop over on sort of Friday and Saturday, so it's not going very well for them. Well,
it really isn't, and I think it's right. We should know what the criteria is, because, you know, otherwise how can we judge who these people are and if the government scheme is working? Because what happens, for example, if they suddenly start deporting a few hundred people and then we get a few hundred more people coming the other way? We certainly need to know who they are, don't we?
Well, of course we do. I do think we have a right to know what our country is being used for and what communities these people are being settled in. Now, I don't think we need to know the ins and outs of every single detail, but I think it's only fair on the British taxpayer that we should know what our money is going for. Are these people going to be able to come here and work? Do they have any qualifications, or are they going to sit there and be a net drain on the society? Yeah. So those are really important questions which just aren't being asked.
Yeah, I agree, totally. Claire, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Claire Pearsall, former Special Advisor on immigration to the Home Office. This from Lynn in Witham, who says, "Morning, Mike. On the Kentucky Fried Swan and Duck, the Home Office and lefties will probably say these poor people are having to kill and cook these birds, must be so desperate and hungry to do this, and then throw more money at them in benefits." That's the mindset of the lefties and our stupid, inept government. Well, that is the problem, isn't it? And you're not supposed to talk about it. One here from Linda's. "Morning, Mike. I'm sitting enjoying the morning sun in Crete. Lucky you. Friendly local, safe atmosphere and no migrants. Oh dear, I will miss Starmer's stupid, moronic, irrelevant speech next week. What a shame. It is such bliss to get away from it all." Yeah, I bet it is. Absolutely marvellous. Peter in Croydon says, "Mike Ray, your car. It's pure jealousy, mate. As for reporting a crime, I reported a hate crime to Herts Police committed by the brainless leader, Councillor Jeremy Hallmark of Hertsmere Council, for calling us flag-waving far-right extremists as criminals and nonces." What is wrong with these people? Well, actually, we've got that clip. Councillor Jeremy Hallmark, who I can't believe is still actually acting as a councillor for any party at all. I think he's a Labourite. Have a look at this.
Also a bit disappointed that my question was diverted from the portfolio holder, but anyway, you've spoken about extremists. Do you accept that by constantly linking our national flag to extremism, as you did in the question, or the answer to the question, as well as many Labour MPs at the moment, that you run the risk of letting extremists define it instead of reclaiming it for the mainstream?
Thank you, Councillor Rosehill. Councillor Newmark, please.
Thank you for your question, Councillor Rosehill, and I'm sorry, but I'm not playing. I won't be taking lectures on our national flag and extremism from a councillor that has the audacity to speak in almost glowing terms in his question to this council about Operation Raise the Colours. Operation Raise the Colours. An organised and orchestrated attempt by a bunch of criminals, extremists, nonces, to hijack our national flag.
Absolutely extraordinary. Extraordinary. Labour councillor talking like that, telling people they're extremists and they're nonces for wanting to show patriotism for this country. Amazing. I'm amazed that the Labour government and the Labour Party haven't expelled this character. This one from Margaret. Oh, sorry, actually, let me do this from Dominic. "Sorry to hear about your car. I had my car stolen last year in Leeds and the police didn't even come. I tipped them off a couple of weeks before as my car was being cased the day after next doors was stolen. I gave the police the description and they treated me like a racist. And then they stole the car." Extraordinary.